masses of consultants were hired to do that, and they set up the architecture for auctioning off small businesses like small retail spaces and things, and then that was actually the main thing. I think the big voucher privatizations were not actually done by IFC people.
So you come in, and those were the days when we were still bidding for deals. We had to prepare proposals. And the department's got a year and a half of history. So on what basis were we selling our expertise or our service when essentially we didn't really have much of a track record that you could go by? Was it the individuals and then the experience that the individuals they brought from their previous experience, or was it just a World Bank Group name that somehow attracted the clients?
Well, a combination of all of those. I mean, first of all, they had to figure it out. At the time that I came, we weren't going around and bidding for a lot of things. There wasn't necessarily that much yet to be done. Most of the things that we got were not on a bid basis, but rather a connection had somehow been formed, and we got into the business. We were doing a certain amount of things where we were just writing reports, evaluating a business and helping it with its strategic options. In fact, that was the first thing I did. But one of my observations was, look, if we want to make money in this business, and we're told to make money in this business, and mind you, I'm coming from Wall Street, so when Wall Street tells you to make money in a business, it may mean something different than I've learned it comes to mean in IFC. So I feel acutely the pressure, and I said, look, guys, we need to go elephant hunting. The only way we are going to cover our costs and make a profit is if we do large transactions that close on large amounts of money with success fees. So that's what we had to start looking at, and probably, now I'm sure obviously the business will come to this conclusion inevitably in any case, but I think probably my observations were some part of the effort to move in that direction and to redirect people who may have been using whatever time they had to write these reports to going out and hunting for elephants. I mean, to your question, which is, how the hell did we get traction in this business? The biggest part of it was the value of the franchise. That gets people who work here, especially if they've spent their whole career here, undervalue the value of this franchise. It opens doors in ways that are not going to happen without that. But then, all right, you have to sell what you're going to sell. And this is different than the IFC way even now, but even more starkly then. It's one thing to go and have money in your pocket, to call on somebody who doesn't have access to finance. These people will compliment you in ways that you don't deserve to be complimented. They will laugh at all your jokes. They will entertain you lavishly. As the saying goes, a fool and his money are soon invited everywhere. It's a different thing to go and say to somebody who has no money to pay you, you need to pay us, and by the way, we're in D.C. and we have costs, and our costs were bigger then. We had a first-class travel policy, $6,000 round trip, to and from the Czech Republic. So you're telling them they have to pay all those things, and they're going to pay them to this group of people who probably are at least 20 years younger than they are and don't necessarily have the vast experience that you'd like to be able to sell. Oh, and by the way, if it closes, you're going to pay us millions of dollars. That's a harder sell. And once you get the mandate, you have to lead without the leverage of your money, and that's yet another set of skills. And if I skip ahead to the part of the interview where you're going to ask me, what does this mean for me? What does this mean for IFC? These are skills that we need even more now as a corporation worldwide with more competition than we did then. And it's no coincidence that so many of the people who worked in CFS were able to deploy those same skills in other parts of the business and advance very far in our business or outside.
So if I hear you, you had some impact in reshaping the vision of the department, because when you came in, I mean, they were still sort of trying to figure out their way. I mean, these are the senior people in the department, but the sort of younger fellow who comes in with some smaller experience is able to impact, which in some ways is the way that CFS has always been, right? I mean, kind of a flat organization where you're able to make an impact, unlike, I think, the investment side of IFC, which is a little bit more regimented. and perhaps less